think every person who does business in a different country or in a different culture needs to take some advisors that advise him not only about the business but also about the culture difference. And if you are willing to learn, and if you are willing to take somebody who will help you with this, and if you are willing to adjust your behavior in the different country, like I had to do in China for 15 years, then you can be successful and bridge the gaps. But if you just think, oh, I will do business in Israel like I do in China, it will not work. If you think that you can do business in China like you do in Israel, it will not work. Chinese have a lot of respect for order, for hierarchy, for organized society, and for the social culture, and a very collective society, care about what other things. Israelis are the opposite. They're very individualistic, they're very, don't plan too much, they're going very fast with their ideas and follow their ideas and their heart. Chinese work more with the brain, Israelis work more with the heart. They have brain, but they work with the heart. The heart is the navigator. Chinese have much more patience, and they think long term. Israelis usually think very short term. Everything needs to be fast, and think many times because they don't have enough money to survive for a long time, so they need to have fast success or fast exit if it's a startup company. And of course in China the guanxi can be very important, but also it can be very dangerous. If you have guanxi with somebody who is friend of some political leader who is now not in power, your guanxi might be against you. But in Israel it's less important. Of course it's always help everywhere in the world, also in USA. If you have the guanxi, it's great, but if not, what you trust the agreement, the law, that the court will, if there is problem, the agreement will go to court and the court will give fair and a just solution to the problem. And you also believe in transparency. Transparency means there's a lot of information in Israel about different companies and different people, and you can, in advance, when you meet the person, you can check all the records to see what's the history of this company or that company. They failed, they cheat, they were in the court before. You can find a lot of things. It's public information, and it helps you to feel safe and to trust this company, although you don't know the people. In Israel, it's very hard to bypass some of the laws that in China, maybe by hiring some guanxi, it will not be so important, and the authorities will turn a blind eye to the problem. In Israel, it's very hard. I not say it's never happened, but usually it's hard. So even laws that look to you not okay and not good and not important, you have to obey for them. I give you an example, not from Israel, but from Poland. There was a very big Chinese company who built highways in Poland. They won very big projects, and they built a highway. But the local law in Poland, like the local law in Israel, care very much about animals and environment. So the local laws said that every few hundred meters they have to build like tunnels under the highway, so the animals and the frogs can go under the road without getting run over on the highway. But they thought, this is not important. What, to protect the frogs? It's a lot of money to build a pipe every 100 meters. So they didn't build it. They thought it's okay. When it was finished and the authorities checked it and they found that they didn't build these little pipes, then they said, okay, you need to destroy everything and build again, otherwise you don't get the money. And they had to build again, and they lost a lot of money in this project because they thought it's not important to protect the frog. In China we eat the frogs, why we need to protect the frogs? So it's small thing, it's just a funny example, but you need to follow a lot of small details and you have a lot of trouble. A lot of things takes much more time in China, and a lot of people can argue with you on legal issues, not only the government. If you have a project for the government, it's not only the government or the other party. All kind of organizations, NGOs can also say, some organization that protect nature can come and give you trouble for environment pollution. The media can give you problems, the newspapers, investigation, write about you, negative report. So you need to be more careful. It's much more Luanchi Padza out there. I think there is a lot of differences, but there's also some similarities. Both cultures are very old, the oldest cultures on this world, Chinese and Jewish people. And we also share a lot of respects for family and education, both cultures, and also those two cultures are very diverse. Of course, China is diverse. It's a huge country, but Israel is very interesting. It's a very, very small country. But the people there came from 72 different countries, and they have a lot of differences. It's also very hard to make generalization about Israeli people. There are Israelis with European or American background, Israelis with Arabic background, Israeli with African background, and Israelis with even few with Chinese background. We have all the different people there, and they have different cultures. I think one very important advice is that you will not only concentrate on business, because then you will not understand the culture. In order to understand the culture, go travel in Israel, see the beauty, meet people that are not business people only, and talk with them, and you will learn much more about the culture, which will help you later to do the business, and you will enjoy.